Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Choice, Change, and Action podcast. So, I have been off in South America and I've been in Peru and Machu Picchu, and it was absolutely incredible. And I also did not get much space there to record a podcast. So, what are we doing? We are choosing a excerpt from a class that I did on the 5 elements of intimacy. So, what this is about is, what are the 5 elements of intimacy? Trust, honor, gratitude, allowance, and vulnerability. And there's a few home plays in there that you can take away from this. And what is it about being the 5 elements of intimacy? What is that for you? So please enjoy this intro. And I also have, on the 1st of October, I have a class coming up, 5 elements of intimacy. So, and it goes for 5 days. It's 1 hour a day. Now, the first call, you can sign up for free. Okay. The first call, if you're on my database, you can sign up for free. So make sure you're on my database, whether it's the Telegram thread, SimoneMilasas.com/Telegram, or sign up. They'll be in the show notes and you'll get that first call free. And I'd love you to be there for the whole series, the whole 5 days. Why would I love you to be there? What you can gain from really being the 5 elements of intimacy with yourself, with your body, with others, with money, with business is incredible. Like, it's way beyond anything you've ever gained from judging yourself, from going to rightness, from going to wrongness, from having to prove, gathering evidence, any of that. There is a power and a potency in the 5 elements of intimacy. I would like to invite you all to. So please enjoy this. If you are on my database, like I said, you get the first call free on the 1st of October, and there's a series for 5 days. So enjoy. It'll all be in the show notes, okay? Love ya from El Lugar in Costa Rica. Pura vida. Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, welcome. How does it get any better than this? I actually dreamt about this class last night. I dreamt about this class, and another thing I was doing, I was like, Jesus, it was quite intense in my world. And so what we're doing is, this is 5 elements of intimacy. Literally, not kidding, one of my favorite tools in Access Consciousness. And we're creating a manual from this class as well. So I'm actually going to ask for your help. It's like, please ask questions. Anything that's up in your world, ask questions about it, because I would like to create a manual for the relationship and different facilitators to go out and facilitate as well, and get this tool out there into the world. So what are the 5 elements of intimacy? The 5 elements of intimacy is trust, honor, allowance, gratitude, and vulnerability. And 5 elements of intimacy is something that I get you need to have with you. And we're going to play with lots of different topics. I mean, this is my OCD coming in at the beginning, because I get so excited about all of this, because if you look at those elements, right? And I'm going to ask you, write them down, put them down somewhere, put them on a Post-it note somewhere. I have them on my bathroom mirror. I have them on my computer, and I have them on my phone. And I will periodically just run something in regards to the 5 elements of intimacy, running a process. Like, where am I? So right now, it's like, everywhere that you have not been willing to be trusting of yourself, honoring of yourself, in allowance of yourself, having gratitude for you, and being vulnerable with you, will you destroy and uncreate it. Times are Godzian, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all known, shorts, boys, COVIDs, and beyonds. And we're going to have lots of questions that go with all of these. And you can do it with business, you can do it with money, etc. So for me, one of the reasons why I started using this tool as well was, and you have them on your lamp and nightstand. Oh, I love that. I love that. Actually, do you know what I just did? I asked my assistant, I went, can you get like pens or something like that? Like, texters that you can draw on mirrors and windows and rub them off. And she goes, yeah, my kid has them. And I went, can you ask Macy if I can borrow them, or can you buy me some? Because I want to like do it on my mirror. So I just got them yesterday. So I want to write it on my mirror. although I might need someone else to do it because I could have been a doctor. My writing, people are going to be like, what is that? That says vulnerability. Maybe I'll just do the initials. I don't know. But yeah, I just got them. So I'll do that, and I'll show you guys. But for me, this tool, how it's so activated in my world many, 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 many years ago. And some of you may have heard this story, but I was very adamant that I was never going to do relationship because I couldn't see a good one. I thought my parents' relationship was horrible. My mother was just continuously yelling at my father, and I was like, that's what marriage is, you know. I was brought up a Catholic, and you know, somewhere in my world it's like if you get married you're meant to stay married forever, and the whole thing. And I wanted to explore the world. Like I was so excited about living and seeing the world that for me relationship went, that seems annoying, you know. But here's the thing, was I wasn't being in question. I had a big fat conclusion about relationship, and I had decided that I was not doing relationship. I didn't see a good one. Why would I choose it? So first thing is asking a question is going to get you out of being in conclusion. So what I started looking at was, because Gary started asking me about it when I was in Sydney, Australia years ago, and I realized that I wasn't being in question about it, and I wanted to have the freedom to have everything in my world. And if you actually embrace these 5 elements of intimacy, you can have that freedom to have everything in your world, because you have those 5 elements of intimacy with you. Because with the 5 elements of intimacy, there's not a rightness of you and there's not a wrongness of you. There's not a rightness or wrongness of your choices. You're just choosing, you know. And part of being vulnerable is that moment that you do choose, and then you're just like, oh, okay, maybe I need to pivot a different way, you know, or choose something a little bit different. So I started running these elements of intimacy on myself, because I realized that so many people, if you look at every Hollywood movie, every Bollywood movie, all of that, they are constantly talking about how you can have this with somebody else. They don't ever talk about having it with you. I mean, that would be a really boring, you know, Hollywood movie. It's like if it was just the most beautiful relationship you have with yourself, right? So, but that's actually a reality that is true. You know, it doesn't make you lighter. If you have this with you, then you'll never be at anybody's peril. Like nobody could ever do anything to you. It's like it's the way you know, receive it. Like, you know, someone could vilify you, someone could attempt to intimidate you, etc. But the only way that you can actually be vilified or be intimidated is because you buy it as real and true. But when you have these 5 elements of intimacy with you, a different reality, a really different reality can show up. So, and Alessandra said, what do you mean by having everything? Can you say more, please? Yeah, and that hopefully will land in your world as well, as we get going in over the next few days. Because how many times do you not choose something based on somebody else's point of view? Like, how many times do you not say something? It's like based on what you think someone's going to think about you, or you sort of categorize it if
Yeah,
this is
the
the
kind
right
of
choice or the wrong
shaky
choice,
talk.
rather than if you have a total trust of you. Like, just so let's do this for a moment, okay? If you can, shut your eyes. If you're driving, please don't, because that would be weird. Um, and just for a moment, like, and you've got your body, right? Your body's here, but your being. And I want you to actually put your attention on everything, like your body and your being. And we will look at them both in individually as well. Now, energetically, like tap into every molecule of your body and your being. Now, be the energy of trusting you. Just trust you today, even if it's just today. What would you change? What would you choose if you trusted you and trusted your body? Now look at today What would you choose if you were honoring you? And notice how your mind might go out, somewhere else. Like, it's interesting. I just opened my eyes and saw Sarah Watt, and I went, okay, so what would it take if she was honoring her? That might be the choice of going and playing with her horses. It doesn't just mean you, it's like an honoring of you and your body, because it's that energy of like, what would make you happy? What would expand your life? What would exponentialize your world? What would give you the freedom, the peace, the joy? Now, what would your day be like if you were in total allowance of you? Total allowance. And it's got that energy of like, what's so funny about me? I'm not laughing about it. Because, yeah, you're not going to make the right choice. You're going to make a choice. So you're in total allowance of your choices, total allowance of you, total allowance of everything you've chosen. And now, gratitude. So now you're totally grateful for you, everything about you. I mean, everything about you. Like, what is it that you currently judge about you that if you didn't judge it, you would be able to be in total gratitude for you? Now, vulnerability. Now you're being totally vulnerable with you. What shows up? What's available? What's not so relevant anymore? So if you embrace the 5 elements of intimacy, the trust, the honoring, the allowance, the gratitude, and the vulnerability with you, what would your life be like? And everything it doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. Okay, so do you notice the energy when we did that? It's like that energy is how you can be every moment of the day. That energy is how you can choose what you do next. Like, how often when you choose, are you thinking about someone else? Who do you think of before you choose? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. So Vivi and Gabby got the memo, green. Everybody else did, but just ignored it. Oh. Okay. So here's something I was looking at recently too. Is I actually watched a movie last night. Now I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it. It's on Amazon Prime. I know there's a lot of movies on Amazon Prime. Damn. It's got okay, I'm going to find it for you. But what's the plot? It's got Johnny Depp in it. It's a new one with Johnny Depp, and he is a teacher. And I'm not giving anything away because he's dying, right? But it's what he chooses in the last. Oh, say goodbye, something like that. Anyway, she's great at googling. But here's the thing: is he's an English professor, right? And there's this. Okay, it's a bit random, but he's an English professor. And when he finds out that he's dying, he goes into his classroom and they've got like 50 people in there. And no, I don't think it's called The Professor. Say Goodbye, something like that. This is not giving it away either, okay? But here's the thing is I want you to have a look at who you are in the world, okay? And how you be in the world. Is there's this moment is he says, okay, stand up all of you people who like blah, blah, blah. And he starts to sort of separate the people and he goes, okay, get out of the class, and he has all this like point of view about how you be in the world. And he's left with this really small group. And then there's this conversation that he has with them and he says, do you guys get that you are the different, unique people in the world? The world is dying without you. It's like you need to be this. And that's I was looking at Access going, oh my goodness, every single person in Access who's choosing Access tools, it's like you need to know that what you are choosing is creating a greater possibility in the world. Like he's like, don't lose that place where you question, don't lose that place where you are so intrigued with how the world works and how, yeah, Richard says goodbye. Yeah, that's the name of the movie. Well done, Tip. Thanks. Um, like be that, right? And he talks about like not being mediocre. It's like you should watch this movie, it's so good. But it's like no more mediocrity. And if you are functioning from mediocrity, if you are functioning from you are the same as others, then you are not being you. When you have these 5 elements of intimacy with you, you will choose what works for you. You won't choose what works for somebody else. You'll choose what works for you. And what I'm going to ask is why we're doing this class, especially because once you start using these tools, you become them. Okay. So just when you think they've gone away, instead of judging that they've gone away, go, oh, did I just become these tools? And then you can also increase them. Okay. Is just have a look at all the different things that you choose. And the second you go into judgment, what element of intimacy are you not being? Like, where did you not honor you or trust you? So there's an apartment next door for sale to my house, and I've got a very weird situation that I'm part of this. It's called Body Corp in Australia. So I have a house, and then behind me there's 4 apartments, but we're part of the same. Um, we share these bills together and stuff like that. It's very weird, and I've tried to get off Body Corp, and it's got to be unanimous vote, and they won't let me. And I had this thing in my world many, many years ago that I went, wow, what would it take for me to buy those 4 apartments so that I have full control of this whole sort of block of where I'm living? And one of them just came up for sale. And I was like, oh, that's the beginning. So I put an offer in for it and I pretty much was getting it. And then I looked at it and I went, what am I choosing this for? And that's the question I want you to ask about every choice you make. What are you choosing this for? And I realized that I was about to, and I spoke to my mortgage broker and I spoke to Gary and I went, I am about to create the suburb I live in to just skyrocket in price based on the price that I was willing to pay. And I went, wow, where is that not? There was no honor and trusting, etc., of the future that I was creating with this. I was choosing this based on a decision I made probably about 15 years ago. And I realized that my life has changed. Where my attention has changed. I am so much more looking at what future would I like to create with the money that I spend, the money that I invest. And a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, a couple of years ago, I started looking at that and I went, okay, I can tick this realities box and go, okay, I have investments, I have a portfolio, I have this. Okay, is it fun? Sure. Is it giving me something greater? Maybe, in this reality. Okay, let's go beyond this reality. What is it that I would like to choose? What is it that I would like to create with my choices? And that's when I started looking at, oh, I'd like to put my money in places that are creating a future on this planet that match the energy of what it is that I would like. So that's when I started investing more in Elugar. I had another CASA investment. I bought more bonds. I've loaned Elugar money. And that more matched the energy. And that was more that honoring of me and my choices. But it's sort of as you be those 5 elements of intimacy, it seeps into every area of your life. But you've got to start with you. Because when you be that with you, then it seeps into how do you be with money? How do you be with your business? How do you be with your friendships? How do you be with the people you work with? How do you be with your family? How do you be with the earth? All of it and more. So I was really grateful for this moment. And I also realized when I said to the real estate, hey, I said, look, some other stuff has come up, I'm not going to do this for now. And he said, and I went, later on, I went, why didn't I just tell him what was actually going on? And then he said, okay, just to be clear, you're not making the offer anymore. And I said, yeah. And I said, the price is too high. And that's way too high. We have this thing called negative gearing in Australia. So you're basically losing money on it, but the interest, the money that you're losing on it is becomes a tax deduction and blah, 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 right? Whole other topic. I said no. So I stated my point. So I was like, basically, fuck you guys. You are putting such a high price on these real estate around here that it is creating it actually impossible for so many people to buy property. Well, I can be a part of changing that by not buying into that. Okay. Hopefully you're following along with that. But that whole story, right, is I started honoring what I knew. I started trusting myself and being vulnerable enough to go, no, I am not going to buy into what all the real estate moguls around here are trying to create in the area that I live. Okay. And putting myself into question of what future is it that I'd like to create. But I love it because for 48 hours, I indulged in this, made an offer, did all that, rang my mortgage broker, was about to sign a contract, and then went, no. So just look at all of your choices, no matter how little and no matter how big they are. And then ask, is this honoring of you? Is this honoring of what it is that you would like to create as a future? And everything at that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds.